Hello. Okay. Looks like audio's working well. My camera's showing up. I think we're good to go. We're gonna get right into it tonight because technically you're supposed to start Starfinder with like a little vignette, but we are smack in the middle of fighting for our lives right now against a space pirate, so it kind of feels like shifting to something else and then coming back to being in the middle of combat is a little bit like... So I'd rather just get this done, and then if we've got time at the end, we can do a vignette then. But for now, we're just getting into it. Last we left off, which I have right here, we crit failed the last roll of the evening, and Vesper had set a trap for Astrid to try and catch her off her feet and get her knife away from her. And that did not end up working well. Astrid managed to pull Vesper out of the vents and then left her on the ground prone and basically ran straight to the bridge. So the situation as it is for our main character at the moment is that Astrid is on the bridge with the door locked. That was part of another complication from the critical miss, was that where Vesper had locked all the... had picked it and chosen which doors to lock and unlock and stuff like that, there weren't like specific... There wasn't anything specific for security that would prevent Astrid from just unlocking the door again. So she just did that and is now in the bridge by herself, and Vesper is on the ground in the middle of the ship, not having a great time. I am gonna be real honest here. I don't want this to be where the main character dies. I feel like that would be a really disappointing end, and we don't have any of our questions answered. So even though it feels reasonable that the first thing a space pirate would do if they have the bridge to themselves and you're not in it is they would just open the hatch and space all the oxygen in the rest of the ship. Hey, Kevin. I am going to go ahead and say right here that while Astrid has access to most things on the ship, like most standard opening doors, getting food, that sort of thing, she does not have, like, what the equivalent of, like, admin access, right? Only Vesper has that as the captain, so opening any hatches, breaching the airlock or anything, Astrid is not able to do without Vesper's biometrics to do that. So that's just kind of my, like, I'm just gonna go ahead and state it there. If we die in, like, really intense dramatic combat, that's one thing, but just having someone be like, oh, well, I guess I'll space you and that's the end of that is, like, not as much fun. So I'm just gonna say that's not a thing that's going to happen. But we do have a bit of a problem here. And I think this is the point in which Vesper has to pull out her own plasmknife that she has. And so I've been working on this. By the way, Kevin, here is the link to the Substack if you're interested and capable of reading. I don't even know if you're literate. If you are, there it is. But I've been working on putting the story together, and one of the things that I came up with was how oaths work. They are not iron-centric in our universe. They are silver-centric because silver is such a conductive metal. So in our universe, in Beta Proxima, an oath is sworn on a small coin that is silver and has like a conductive paper on the inside. You press your fingerprints into that paper, and your personal like electrical current in your body is enough to complete a circuit, and it sears it into the silver. So you have like this little silver conductive coin that has your biometrics. If you swear a vow to or with someone else, then each of you puts a finger on one side, and then you have both. You know, one person takes the other person's fingerprints and the other takes the first one's. So that's how that works. Thanks, I thought it was pretty cool too. And that makes a little bit more sense to me as to how these power plasmknives, because like otherwise I'm not really sure what that even means. So I think Vesper, now that she has this, I think plasmknives are like easy to get anywhere and are not a big deal. And it's not that you can't use one without having an oath coin, but the oath like changes how it works, or changes how much power you can get out of it at a time, because it's also, rather than just the power source that's in it, it's also using your own conductive electricity from your body to power more in this plasmknife. So I think once she pulls, probably just from a storage area, they have tools and such, she can pull a plasmknife, any plasmknife out. And she will pull the silver oath coin that she has out of her pocket and put it into the back of the plasmknife. And now she has a supercharged plasmknife. As long as she is alive enough to put current through this thing, it will give it like a little bit extra boost over just like a tiny pocket knife, you know? So that's what I'm thinking of that. So she is holding this now. We are armed. I don't actually know if it counts as these ones. I think they're specific in combat moves. Yeah, okay. So enter the phrase when you start. There's gain ground, react under fire, strike, clash, take decisive action, face defeat, and battle. We're not going to face defeat. We're not going to do that. Take decisive action is seize an objective in a fight. Clash is when you're in a bad spot and fight back against a foe at close quarters. Okay, this sounds right, because we are in a bad spot. The last thing that we rolled last time was a critical failure. We are in the epitome of a bad spot. We do not have the upper hand. We don't even have the lower hand. We have no hands. We're handless. It's a problem. So we're going to need to fix that. And we're in a bad spot, and we're fighting back against a foe. We are not at close quarters yet, but we're about to have to try to be. So this one might be the one that we need. In control and assault a foe is not it. React under fire. When you're in a bad spot and take action in a fight to avoid danger or overcome an obstacle. Okay, so let's look at these obstacles and see if not having full control over the ship would count as react under fire, or if it would be we just go through the door and this is like full-on melee. Let's see what we got going here. I'm also open to suggestions from chat, because envisioning how combat works is not something that I'm super used to, so other people might have an easier time than I do of like coming up with like what's happening. Okay. In pursuit, fleeing, dodging, getting back into position, or taking cover. Remaining stalwart against fear or temptation. Well, our character is prone to panic attacks, so that's kind of an always, but that's not all she's doing right now. Blocking or diverting with force or taking the hit. I don't feel like we're blocking. I want to try and like push forward. Moving into hiding or creating a distraction, changing the plan, finding a way out, or cleverly bypassing an obstacle. Okay, so this cleverly bypassing an obstacle bit kind of feels like we're doing what we're doing at the moment. So let's try this first. Envision your approach and roll by changing the plan, finding a way out, or cleverly bypassing an obstacle. Okay. The problem with playing a clever character is that you then have to be clever, and isn't that just the hardest part? What are we trying to do? We are right now in... There's like a vehicle bay in the ship that's separate from... It's like where you would keep escape pods, basically. And that room on the Eclipse is empty. So that's kind of what I was envisioning that they were, like, fighting in. It's not the same as the hangar. It's kind of just above it. Or, like, not hangar. It wouldn't be a hangar. It would be a cargo bay, really. So this is, like, a separate storage room away from cargo that is supposed to have, like, you know, if you have, like, some sort of speeder bike or something like that would go in here. You know, the bike rack that goes on top of your minivan. That's what this room is. How do we get... Changing the plan, finding a way out, or cleverly bypassing an obstacle. Okay, here's what I think we're going to try and do. What we should try and do is, instead of getting straight to where Astrid is in the cockpit, is we should go down to the workshop and use a terminal in the workshop to try and basically hack our own ship, and completely lock Astrid out of everything so that she does not have permissions to fly or to open or close doors or anything. Like, Astrid doesn't have permissions to do anything, is step 1. And then step 2, put the ship back the way that it is supposed to be, as far as, like, oxygen everywhere. 3, stop flying or moving or going anywhere. If she's trying to turn the ship, if she's trying to, like, jet off somewhere, if she's trying to crash it into the junker where we're trying to actually get to, like, whatever's happening, she's not allowed to do it. So we're going to stop everything that she could do, and then she's basically, at that point, would just be stuck in any other room. It doesn't matter that it's the cockpit. And then we can go deal with her more safely, basically. So I think that's what I'm going to try and do, is neutralize, basically. Neutralize her and the ship. That's how we're going to go. Okay, so we're going to roll plus wits, as always. Let's go. Wits. Roll. Oh, another miss with a match. I can't handle 2 in a row. We have some momentum to burn. Let's... Progress. Conditions. Impacts. Somewhere in here is... momentum. Burning momentum. Okay. You roll... I'm going to read this out loud because I don't know if the screen resolution is good enough for you guys to actually read it. Did Death Dealer Kev come in here to kill our character? No, Star Drew, he wouldn't stand a chance. He's in here to tell me how cool and great I am, which I am. Alright, how momentum works. For example, if your momentum meter is a +7 and your action score is a 4, you roll a 5 and a 9 on your challenge dice. This would normally be a miss, but you can burn momentum to make your action score 7 instead of 4. This shifts your results from a miss to a weak hit. When you have positive momentum and you make an action roll, you can replace your action score with the current momentum value to improve your result. Well, the match is a 7, and we only have 5 momentum. Hey guys. Okay, now that the rest of you are here, I'm just going to say it one more time. This is the link to where the first chapter of this story is published. I am in the middle of chapter 2 at the moment. The first one was like 2,500 words. I've got like 1,500 words right now for chapter 2, so I'm actually catching up pretty well. So if you guys are interested in like a narrative version of this where the characters actually like talk to each other and have thoughts and feelings and motivations and whatever, that'll be that. Hello, friends. Okay, so we ended last one with a critical failure, and we are now starting this one with another critical failure. That is not great, my dudes. It's not great. Okay, what do we do on a miss? On a miss, the situation worsens. You stay in a bad spot and must pay the price. I don't want it to be a miss with a match, though. I don't want that. Okay, let's see. Pay the price is down here somewhere. There is most obvious outcomes, but also last time we rolled on this pay the price thing, and that's kind of fun. Oh, sorry, I need to do that here. We will roll pay the price and see what happens. You face a tough choice. Okay. So let's just get this down here. Wait a minute. I forgot to... We have a workshop. When you move to craft, repair, repurpose, or modify equipment or technology, add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. Adding +1 still doesn't help us because then it would still just be a match. That's not meet it, beat it. What a bummer. Oh. We have a shade asset that I totally forgot about. When you secure an advantage or gain ground. That's not going to help us right now. When you repair in the field, add +1. Oh, wait a minute. We have a workshop and we're a gearhead. So fixing this tech in the workshop, like trying to hack into our own computer systems in the workshop, is a +2. It's a +2. That's exactly enough. Okay, so this is a strong hit with a match. Holy cow. Okay. I need to edit that in the journal. +2 equals 8 versus 7, 7. Okay. And we are not going to do the pay the price here. We have a strong hit. I was like, come on, there has to be a way. Don't we? That's why I said we went to the workshop, right? Yeah, I did say we had to go to the workshop. I just need to actually read what the workshop says. Wouldn't that be helpful? Okay. Come on back up here. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. On a strong hit, you succeed and are in control. Take +1 momentum. Okay, so we get +1 momentum for that. And there was +1 momentum for the gearhead. So now we're at 7 momentum, which is awesome. That's great. Which means later, if we need to, we can replace any roll we get with a 7. And so the higher this is, the better off that we're going to be in problematic situations. Okay, so what... It just says you succeed and are in control. It doesn't tell me anything else other than that. Okay, so we need to figure out something. Yes, we did beat it. I know, I'm so excited. I just have to read all of my abilities. That's all. I just have to read and then remember things. The two hardest things on the whole planet. That's all I have to do, and then we'll survive. So we need to think of something cool that's like extra that happens, because this is basically a critical. It's a strong hit with a match. So like this is a crit success. We got to think of something else cool that happens. So you guys think of something, and I'm gonna finish typing my sentence here. What is the word that I just used that you use for, like, security access? Revoke. Okay. Okay, here's what I'm saying what my extra is. I'm totally open to suggestions if y'all have any, but for now, here's what I'm saying. So we lock Astrid out so she's not able to change things. You know, this ship, I don't know if you guys were here last time, this ship has an AI who is a diagnostic AI. She's not like, you know, it's not like Cortana or anything, but she can do basic functional commands and tell you the status of things on the ship. But that means that because there's a comm system through the ship, through basic voice controls, you can ask Mira to do certain things. And this would be the equivalent of like someone else on a video call or whatever telling your Google to play music, and that's just rude, honestly. It's just super rude. So we have locked her out, and she cannot use Mira or any other commands. She can't open doors on her own. And then my extra thing that Vesper has managed to do is stop the engines like she wanted, get air through the rest of the whole ship like she wanted, but then also turn off the lights and screens in the cockpit so that when we sneak in there, we can actually sneak. We can try and slip around unseen and gain the upper hand on Astrid, because Astrid is strong. 2001 Steve AI. Hal? Yeah, well, kind of like Hal. Less murderous. Well, maybe not less murderous. Mira's actually a character that I played with Brett and Scott for Death in Space, and she did really super murder some people, but like professionally. It wasn't in cold or warm blood. She was an AI. Anyway, okay, what are we doing? Okay, so our next move here. Let's see. Hiding, preparing an ambush, or misdirecting feels like what's next. So we're gonna roll Shadow. The lights are off, and we just read something. We have Shade. Instantly cloak your form in the shadowy veil of the void. When you are veiled and make a move to ambush, hide, or sneak, you may preset your action die to 5. In darkness, make it 6. On a miss, in addition to any other cost, you are revealed and can't veil yourself again until the current situation is resolved. Okay, so we can preset our die to a 6, which is the highest you can get anyway. So cool. that, I mean, it doesn't automatically mean that it's going to go amazingly, because it still matters what the challenge die are going to be, but still, let's roll Shadow here, which I think is only like a +1, but still, let's, that's funny, we rolled a 6 anyway, so 6 + 1 is a 7, a weak hit. Alright, what does that say again? Add +1, no, that's gear hit. On a miss in addition to another cost, okay, it's not a miss. So we're good. Let's see, on a hit, you stay in control. On a strong hit, choose 2. On a weak hit, choose 1. So this is a strong hit. We can mark progress, take 2 momentum, add +1 to your next move. Oh, did we mark progress? Was this a... Oh, no. This is not a progress move, because reacting under fire is trying to take control of the situation. Now that we're in control of the situation, we will be able to mark progress. I think I want to take 2 momentum and mark progress, because we're pretty close, honestly. We have, let's see, we're over here, and I've got this up. On a troublesome vow, every time you mark progress, you click 3. Okay, so that's, there we go. So we only have like 1 or 2 moves left that we need to do, staying in control, in order to defend Astrid and defeat her somehow. Okay. I keep saying onto the bridge, but this is a cockpit on the ship, so it's into the cockpit. Okay, so this was a weak hit, which means there is still... wait a minute. Let me get my thing straight. This was a weak hit, so we're not choosing 2. We're choosing 1. I can read. I'm so tired. This was roll plus... Is this what we just did? Roll Shadow. Hiding. Yeah, okay. So this is what we just did. Okay, so I'm actually wrong. I want to mark progress. We'll put the momentum back. We'll just take the 1. That's okay. So I think... I don't think that we need to add any extra complication to this as a weak hit, because here's the thing. Astrid is, she has, like, bioengineered alterations. She has plated, armored skin, kind of like an armadillo. And we established that when we first met her. So fighting with her is very difficult, and she's kind of a hefty lass. So it kind of feels like, okay, we snuck into the room with her, and now we're going to be in hand-to-hand combat with an armored space pirate who has a lot of experience being a space pirate. It's like, okay, great, we got what we wanted. That's already a problem in and of itself. So having the upper hand is nice, but here's the question that we're going to have to pose, and let's get our Ask the Oracle here. With the alterations that Astrid has made to her body, humans normally cannot see in the dark. Can Astrid see in the dark? Let's find out. We're just going to roll it literally 50-50. No, Astrid cannot see in the dark. Okay, that's what we needed to know. So, let's go back up here. We're not reacting under fire because we're not in a bad spot. We're in control. We're striking. When you're in control and assault a foe at close quarters, roll plus iron. When you attack at a distance, roll plus edge. Let's look. Iron is 2, edge is 2. So there isn't any one that she would necessarily do more than the other. So let's just go ahead and roll plus iron and just get straight in there and have a knife fight, because Vesper is really inexperienced and probably wouldn't understand that that's a horrible, horrible idea. Knife fights are bad for everybody that don't get in a knife fight. By getting in a knife fight, you have lost the knife fight. That's how that works. So Vesper has not been in a fight in her whole life and does not know that. So she is holding her plasma knife, which is not on at the moment because like it's hot plasma, like it glows. But it can go on and off. It does like a lightsaber thing, we'll say, but like a short, stubby, like, you know, like a machete kind of lightsaber, I guess. Anyway, so she doesn't know that. So she's just going to go straight in and try and attack. She'll probably, I think what she's going to try and do, knowing that Astrid's back is armored, she's probably going to try and like stab her from behind so she can't see her, but like in the side. Or maybe like in the leg, something that's potentially going to be a little bit less armored than just her straight up spine. So let's try it. We are in control. We're assaulting a foe at close quarters. We're doing it. And then we are not making this particular move, so this one does not matter for us at this moment. That's okay. So we're just going to roll iron. We're going to roll some iron. And I can't think of a single reason why there would be a plus. So, weak hit. Okay, weak hit. What do we do on a weak hit here? On a strong hit, mark progress twice. You dominate your foe and stay in control. On a weak hit, mark progress twice, but you expose yourself to danger. You're in a bad spot. Okay, but here's the thing. I'm pretty sure, yes. So marking here, okay, so here's what's going to happen. Marking progress twice, because we mark 3 at a time, and there's 4 boxes here. So we managed to take Astrid down. The fight is over. However, I feel like the prettiest obvious consequence of exposing ourselves to danger is that we get hurt. That just feels reasonable to me. So I am going to look at our health here and bring us from 4 down to 3. Did I already mark that in the journal? Yes, I did. Okay. So I don't think she would try. Let's see. If Vesper wanted to incapacitate her, stabbing her in the leg would just mean she wouldn't be able to walk very well, but she would still be able to fight. So Vesper would probably go for the side because a gut wound, like, sucks. Probably not the side of her neck, though, because she doesn't want to, like, straight up kill her, right? And it's a weak hit, so you wouldn't even be able to, like, completely kill her anyway. Okay, we stab her in the side. She's somehow going to hurt us back. I think... How do we get hurt? How do we get hurt? Let's see. Astrid, Vesper's behind her, stabbed in the side. Would probably grab her arm and throw her forward. I mean, that's what I would try and do. There's probably people who've been in like way more fights than I have, though. Please feel free and chime in. Grab her arm and throw her forward. Yeah. And then we'll just say, like, Astrid faints from the pain. I don't know, maybe we hit, like, a kidney or something. Okay. All right. So we're not in a bad spot because we're still in the fight, but we are in a bad spot because we are wounded. Somehow, Astrid has managed to... as she, like, yanked us forward away from her right before she, like, passed out from the pain of her wounds, the plasmknife, like, went flying with Vesper as she fell to the floor, and she was also, sliced up by it. So that kind of sucks. So what we're gonna do is, we're going to have to get to Janus and then have them open a docking bay and let us in and be like, oh yes, actually we have a space pirate and we're not the one that is the problem. It is actually her. Please arrest her. Thank you. And hope that they believe us. So that's probably great and fine, right? That's lovely. So finish an expedition. Roll the challenge dice and compare to your progress. On a strong hit, you reach your destination or complete your survey. What does confront chaos mean? Something dreadful. Ooh. We're kind of finishing an expedition because we are at Janus. Fulfill your vow. We haven't done that yet. Yeah, so let's just do this real quick. I believe. Yeah. Okay. Here's our challenges. Did I not? Did I already delete the clock that was against getting there? Maybe I did. That's a problem. Well, we had gotten it all the way to the top, right? Okay, so... progress tracks, progress moves, rolls. Then roll only the challenge dice and compare your progress score to the value of the dice. This is called a progress roll. Okay, so however many are full. So getting to Janus was the expedition, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Unless there's a double match, we're going to have a strong hit. 6 and an 8. Okay. So, on a strong hit, you reach your destination or complete your survey. Mark a reward on your Discovery's Legacy track per expedition rank. Troublesome is 1 tick. Oh, I bet we did this already. I bet that's why I deleted it. And probably progress against fighting Astra doesn't count as... Well, maybe it does. I don't know. You make progress moves for it, so I'm gonna say yes. Let's see. Can you tell that I don't know anything that's going on here? I don't understand anything in life. Oh, we haven't marked any. Okay, so there is one. There we go. For getting to Janus. And then 1 for Astrid. Okay, we figured it out. We got there eventually. Good on us. All right, so the one last thing that I want to do getting to Janus is just like literally see if there's a role for like talking to them. Face danger, secure an advantage, gather information, compel, aid, check your gear. Persuade someone or make them an offer, maybe. Reach a milestone, is that what I should have done? Completing a perilous expedition. You may mark progress per the rank of the vow. Okay, well, I mean, yeah. I don't think any of these are it. So here's what we're going to do instead. Instead of trying to find out how Janus feels about us, we are going to find out more about Janus itself. So what we do know, because we only have like 10 more minutes for tonight, what we do know, and we can look it up over here, is that there are rifters, and there is the Infinite Fleet. And the Infinite Fleet are people who believe that the aliens that destroyed Earth came through rifts, and you can't trust rifts, and they're probably going to return at any minute. So they stayed on their tanker ships. Oh, so we can actually move, we can go here. Here's where we are now. So it's in a tanker ship, and the people that are like descended, like the generations of people descended from those who actually came over in the ship are like in charge because of like nepotism reasons. And then over the generations have decided that it's because they're actually better than everybody else. So we know that. So it's just a big giant, like the Titanic, you know, sort of situation. And the trouble that it says is share cure. So what we know, what we have figured out already, is that Janus has a cure for some disease, but no way to manufacture it, is what we had said. If that is the case, or possibly there is a disease on Janus and they don't have a cure, also possible. But that's kind of what we know at the moment. So before we show up next time and try and like talk to people and figure out what's going on, why don't we spend a little bit of time just figuring out what is actually happening on Janus, and then we will have a better idea of how they receive us when we try and get there next time. That makes sense to me. Okay. Let's do some Oracle stuff, I think. Is there location theme type inhabited? What can we... Conspicuous patrols or surveillance. Disturbing evidence of exploitive conditions. And then the opportunity is needed item, resource, or buyer is available. Okay, so if we assume that all of these are true about Janus, I'm wondering... Okay, and here's the thing. I really love Mass Effect, so I feel like the second I started thinking about this, I immediately went to Mass Effect, and that's sort of like what's in my brain at this moment. So it would make sense to me if, hear me out. What do you guys think about this? If instead of them having a cure that they can't manufacture, what's actually happening is the government, the people in charge on this starship, remember, who believe their, like, destiny is to be in charge here, have forced people who are not from here to do some sort of dangerous labor. Think of, like, how mining can give you, like, black lung or something, right? So there's disturbing evidence of exploitative, what is this word? Conditions. And conspicuous patrols or surveillance. So that would kind of hit both of those, right? So, like, there would be patrols or surveillance because these people are supposed to be working, and if they stop working, it's a problem. I think this sickness that we have here is maybe something that is contagious. So they basically, instead of just helping anybody, has, like, completely cordoned off and quarantined the area where this particular thing is happening. We're gonna delete this here for a second, and we are going to... We don't have one for Janus, so we can just put it in the notes here, I think. Yeah, so. I'm bad at spelling, but we're getting there anyway. What was the last thing? Needed item, resource, or buyer is available. Okay. All of these words that I spelled are wrong. So it makes sense to me then that our Vicedo is probably in the quarantined area that other people are not allowed to get to. And that's going to be a problem for us because we're opening ourselves up to sickness. However, we literally work on... Well, I mean, she's not a doctor. She works on life support equipment, but she's bringing the life support equipment here. That it's her job and it's her specialty. So her bringing it means that whatever she's bringing is going to be more effectual however they use it, but she's not going to be able to come up with a cure for whatever this is. Let's see, is there... am going to look for a random sickness generator. Random diseases, a generated list of real diseases. Random health condition generator. Symptom checker. No, that's a real thing. I gotta look up these things now? Why did I pick a real list? Because some of these sound cool, that's why. Oh, Lyme disease. I was like, what is Borrelia infection? That sounds cool. It's Lyme disease. It's Lyme disease. This one also sounds familiar. I bet you that I'm gonna know what it is once I... Okay, no, that one's an STD. New list, different list. That's not gonna work. A rare disorder that affects the inner ear that can cause vertigo, tinnitus, hearing loss, and a feeling of pressure deep inside the ear. Erectile dysfunction. This is not working very well. Mesothelioma linked to asbestos exposure. Mesothelioma would be really funny, but not really funny. This is not helping, really. Come on, fantasy name generator. Come up with something better than what we've gotten before. Okay, listen to what we have on random name generator right now because it's ridiculous. The incurable flu. The symptoms are bad breath, tiredness, toe numbness, blistering, and skin bumps. That's not really that bad. This one's called fatal stomach. Euphoria, swallowing difficulty, blistering, and altered mental status, joint redness. Okay, that's ridiculous and this isn't helpful, but how about this? I love the euphoria and altered mental status. How about this? How about this is fatal? Like it's killing you from the inside, but the outward symptoms just look like you're really happy to be here doing what you're doing. And that's part of why this is like such a problem, because the government on Janus keeps going like, no, everybody is very happy to be here. What are you talking about? Everything's fine. We could do that way. I guess it would help if we, instead of thinking of that, but like, what is the job? That would probably be way more helpful, right? Agent, smuggler, outcast. These are going to be cool ones, huh? These are not going to be... minor. I did say minor. What would be something on a giant ancient metal ship that would need to be done that nobody would want to do? And the first thing that comes to mind is something in a boiler room. Why would the spaceship have a boiler room? I don't know, but it just feels right. But maybe it's not water in the boiler room. Maybe it's like a sulfur situation. Or maybe I'm thinking too hard about it, or they really just need like a sewage treatment area and there's some like cholera outbreak or something. Modern day bilge. Ship bilge. Let's look it up. The part of the hull that would rest on the ground if the vessel were unsupported by water. Okay. Fluids from leaks, outflow, and washing down all end up in the ship's bilge wells. Yeah, okay. So that's totally what it is. It's a problem in the bilges. And that sounds gross, and I think that's perfect. Okay, so I will continue to think about what that means. And you should do the same so that we can meet up next Thursday and talk about it as we have kind of an idea of what's going on, but Vesper is going to need a much better idea of what's going on. And then we're going to meet Arvis Sato. So, kind of shot myself in the foot there, didn't I? So, as I said, ta-da! We have made it. We lived, team. We did it. Good job, everyone. I will be back here next Thursday so we can keep doing this. Because I think that we're kind of getting into a groove here. And this is definitely going to be a turning point because we haven't really needed to, like, talk to NPCs and, like, make deals with them or before. And it kind of feels like playing chess with yourself. And I've never done that. So the next time will be a very interesting situation, I think. Because interacting with and interfacing with NPCs is very different than just combat. Second, I did already publish Chapter 1. I will post it again here on Substack. I am in the middle of Chapter 2. I will be posting that soon. Eventually, these will just be once a week, but I'm trying to, like, catch up and post them as often as I can until I'm caught up. It won't take too long because I'm only a little bit behind. But yeah, that's that. You can, like, read the story when I have enough brain power to, like, sit down and think about what's actually happening rather than right now where I'm kind of just going on screen forever. You know, like you do. Yeah, so, thanks, guys. I had fun. I hope you had fun, too. Bye!